One of the senators in that meeting is with me now, Senator John Barrasso, the Republican from Wyoming. And, sir, welcome back here to America's Newsroom.
Thanks, Bill. Great to be with you.
Take us inside the room. What was the message?
Well, there was 100% agreement of 100 senators that the death and the murder of Jamal Khashoggi was brutal, was ruthless, and was against American values. We had the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Defense, but not the CIA director. Many people wanted the CIA director to be there so she could be questioned directly. But there was also 100 senators who believed, whether there was a smoking gun or not, that if a gun were to be found, it would be the fingerprints of the Crown Prince on that gun. There is no doubt in anyone's mind that he was involved, and the question then is, what do you do about it? And I think we have to absolutely condemn the behavior of Saudi Arabia in this case. This is against our values. We have to strongly explain our values to the world, but also we need to keep the agreement going, working with the Saudi Arabia. They are a source of stability in that part of the world. And some of the hypocrisy out there, Bill, are the Democrats that say, well, we should be doing more with diplomacy in that part of the world. But yet they have been holding up President Trump's nominee to be the Assistant Secretary of State, David Schenker, for that part of the world for 7 months now.
So the administration's position is that they're going to go forward with the relationship with Saudi Arabia. That's what I take away from this. And Gina Haspel was not there. I was just wondering if that would have swayed some of those in the room. Would that have been a better deal, do you think, for those? Because you had a vote after the 63-37, 2-1, to cut support to Saudi Arabia for that war in Yemen. You were one who voted against that resolution. How come?
Yes, I voted against it. I think we need to continue the relationship, continue what we're doing. I believe it's important to get our Assistant Secretary and Ambassador on the ground there. I think had the director of the CIA been there, I don't think it would have changed the outcome. So people that want to point to that as a reason, I don't think is a justifiable reason. Long term, we need the relationship with Saudi Arabia as in terms of what Iran is doing. Iran continues to fund the Houthis in Yemen who are attacking Saudi Arabia. They're funding these folks with money that the United States gave Iran as part of this Iran nuclear deal. So I think there's bad actors all around. Our source of stability in the Middle East is Saudi Arabia.
You accept the argument Mike Pompeo makes that there's a lot of tough actors in that part of the world, and at some point you have to deal with them. Is this just, are you telling the American people that they just have to swallow hard on this aspect of the story with Saudi Arabia?
Well, I think we need to should have been much more forceful in condemning what has been done. You take a look and you say, is this 31-year-old the right person, the Crown Prince, to be leading that country? Are there changes that may be made internally in Saudi Arabia to change leadership? All of those things I think are important. But I think that what we are doing now in our long-term relationship to Saudi Arabia is important. I also think what President Trump is doing with energy in America is important. So we're not dependent on anyone in that part of the world for energy, and we're more relying on American energy.
These waters run deep, and quickly I just want to get to another big story, and that's this 2-hour meeting with Vladimir Putin that's scheduled for Saturday. James Mattis, you've got the whole conflict with Russia provoking Ukraine in the last week. Here's what James Mattis said about that yesterday.
It was obviously a flagrant violation of international law. It was, I think, a cavalier use of force. When you think that there is a treaty between the two countries that permits exactly what happened, it just shows that Russia cannot be counted on right now to keep its word.
You can make the argument that Putin's trying to test this administration yet again. What comes of this meeting, Senator?
Well, I think much more important than the meeting is what we, the United States, actually do in the area. And I suggest that we actually send ships to the Black Sea to send a message to Ukraine that we are with them, and to send a message to Russia that international law must be followed. Look, Vladimir Putin is a show, not tell guy. You can tell him anything you want. He respects power and he respects geography. And what he's doing in the area of Ukraine is actually a fight for more geography. He takes it anytime he tries to do it. He is testing the United States and the resolve of NATO.
Yeah, Senator, thank you for your time. We got some breaking news. Sorry to cut you off. Hope you come back.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, John Barrasso,
Sure will.
Thank you, the senator from Wyoming.